Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to a Friday edition of Miguel and Holly, Uncensored. Make sure that you listen to our other podcast, okay?
Oh, yes, it's very important.
It is literally of utter importance because Holly and producer Kelvin have been putting so much work into the new way we are doing the Miguel and Holly Full Show podcast. So now, if you go to the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you type in Miguel and Holly's Full Show, for so long, it would just be that one big old file of all of our audio, and it's usually like an hour and 7 minutes.
Works for some people. They like
Right.
to just sit down and listen to the whole show in one chunk. That's
Right.
what my best friend does.
Right, and just listen to it while you're driving, if you're at work. But what we've done also, too, is if you're like, I really just enjoy Trending in the Queen City, or I really just enjoy the Hum Game, and I don't want to listen to all the other stuff. Well, now, under the Miguel and Holly Full Show podcast, you got the full show, and then you have each individual segment that we do for that day's show.
Yeah.
So you can pick and choose whatever it is that you want to listen to. So just type in Miguel and Holly's Full Show.
You know what's so wild to me? Not that I don't think there's a good reason as to why, but like people truly do listen, and they really listen, specifically the podcast. And so I'll get DMs from M&H fam members, and they'll be like, hey, I know you don't like memes, but I'm going to send you this one. And I was like, God, you listen to what I said.
Wait, you don't like memes?
Yeah, this was like a convo we had like a few months ago where I was like, I don't like memes. Like I like
don't
I like the ones,
remember it.
I like the reading ones. I don't like videos. I don't like reels.
Right.
'Cause it's
Right, right.
It's a
Oh,
commitment.
I can't
Right.
with reels.
And I said that once passively, and it was brought up, and I was like,
I know, that's the thing. Like, I don't barely ever remember anything you say, I say, anything. But like, people will remember.
Yes.
And I'm always like,
Mhm.
I'm so impressed with your memory.
yes.
Well, that's why I think that's one of the things that I find most interesting is especially like the OG fan members that have been here, even the ones from like Panama City days,
Yes.
who they will be like, if we're having a debate on air on the podcast, they'll be like, so I know that's your opinion now, but 5 years ago, you used to say this, bitch. I got the receipts.
Oh no.
And I'll be like, well, I mean, at least it shows growth on my part.
Growth.
Oh no.
Gross. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's so interesting. So, yeah. So make sure to go listen to everything. Spread the word. Tell everybody. Say, hey, girl, listen to Miguel and Holly's Full Show podcast or the Uncensored podcast. All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring her on, shall we?
Yeah.
We shall.
Welcome to the show. So, Worker Stacy.
Hey!
Hello. How are you guys?
Wonderful. How are you
We're
doing, Miss
great.
Thing?
I'm fine. Everything's fine. You know.
No,
YOLO.
when people say
Stacey's
that,
go-to
it's not.
deflection. No, it's
Yeah.
Stacey all the time. How are you doing? I'm fine. More about you. And
What about you? How's life?
Now, how's
questions
your
about
life?
herself.
We talk about our life all day, several hours a day.
You want to hear something crazy? And this is what I hold on. Are you ready? This is our 2-year anniversary week of me coming
Oh.
on the show for the first time.
Really?
2 years?
Yes, 2 years. It popped up on my Facebook the other day. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm just
Wow.
saying.
That.
I know.
Wow.
So
That's
that was like,
incredible.
yay. I know.
The time
So-
just passes so quickly.
It's insane. And on top of all of that, I would like to say that I started my own podcast.
Yes.
Finally, so proud of you.
And 7 sessions, like literally 7 episodes in now. So I'm like,
Ooh.
I'm committed. So I'm gonna name drop this. Don't mind me. It's Stacy and Sean. Good for the soul. Come listen. It's basically me and all of my crazy, and Sean keeps me level, and it's fun. It's great.
All right, so Stacey, I'm going to put you on the spot. Since you're now a radio pro,
Yes,
let's act
please.
like you're doing a 30-second ad for your podcast. So,
Oh Lord.
welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. We will be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Soul Worker Stacy Renee, and if you would like at least a half hour of fun, random, mundane, fun conversation, please tune in to Stacy and Sean, Good for the Soul, and my podcast. It's fantastic. It's fine.
And where can they find it?
podcast?
Where can you find
Oh
the
yeah,
podcast?
my podcast. You can find it anywhere you can find any other podcasts. Like it's everywhere. It's beautiful. It's on iTunes and it's on Spotify and everywhere you can find podcasts. So yeah.
Yes! That's what I was looking for.
I
right
hate talking about myself, y'all. Let's go talk to some dead people. Come on.
No,
You'll
no.
learn to
my
love it.
Goodness gracious.
Oh,
Oh,
so
okay.
embarrassing. Oh, real quick.
Mhm.
Usually we do this towards the end, but so has anybody heard about that Mars is back into retrograde, Holly?
Mercury's a retrograde today.
Retrograde, yeah, whatever. That's my point.
Today
Yeah. It's great.
through May 14th.
I
Yes.
am lividly pissed off about this because
No, I
my
don't want
birthday
it.
is literally 2 weeks from today, which I'll be on the show, by the way, with you guys. I'm just saying, Cinco de Mayo.
Ooh,
Birthday show.
yes.
Right. Literally right in the middle of this whole retrograde thing. How crappy is that?
Listen,
Mhm.
it's not always a bad thing. We're not going to take it your birthday as a bad thing. Retrograde, and ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
you need to pay attention to this retrograde. Do you know what retrogrades ask us to do?
Reflect.
Slow down. And
What?
he's over here doing too much all the
Mhm.
time. Too much.
I may or may not have passed out the other day. It's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
Legit
Miss
on the
passed
breath.
out.
Miguel's over here looking at me like, what are you doing? Yeah, no, literally about passed out the other. I did.
Retrogrades ask us to slow down and take a little more time and be a little bit more selective about our choices.
Mm.
So this is a way for you to be like, okay, my birthday's coming up, let me slow down, and it's gonna be fine on your birthday. It's just asking you to just chill in a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. It's great. Me slowing down. I can totally do that.
Just like my grandma used to say, sit your fast tail down.
My whole thing is
sit
I can
down.
sleep when I'm dead. I'm good. It's fine.
You better sit down. All right.
It's
So
fine.
here is the part of the podcast. We have a Charlotte fan member. You want to unmute yourself there? Who has joined us? Is it Bridget?
Yes.
Bridget, welcome to the Platypus Posse.
Yay!
Thank you.
I love it. Before we start the official reading, are you from Charlotte or are you a transplant?
I've been here about 15, 16 years. So I guess you could say I'm a native.
Oh, yes. And where'd you
Yeah.
move from?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Like an hour away from Louisville.
Oh, I love it. Well, we're
The
glad
fact that
to
you
be here.
pronounce it
Louisville.
Whoa.
giveaway. I love it.
Louisville, whatever you want to call it.
I love
Well, this part of the podcast, Bridget, is where Holly, myself, and producer Kelvin steps back, and it's literally just you and soul worker Stacy.
All right.
Hi, Bridget. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to be totally bluntly honest with you. I'm so stinking excited to talk to you. My hands are sweaty, which is something that never, ever, ever, ever happens to me. So I'm just like, all right, this is intriguing. Know that I work solely and strictly through God, through the Holy Spirit. You're always in charge of your own fate. You're always in charge of your own destiny. You are going to be different and special today. And if I can't help it, it's like I need to look down and completely fully focus in on you with everything, because you have the universe on your shoulders. You carry, like, my heart swells for you. The amount of bravery, the amount of love, the amount of selfless human being that you are. It's like, I see you. I see you. You give 110% to every little thing you do, and especially to people you care about. And it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Is your mom passed?
No.
What's going on with her, if you don't mind me asking? Only because she's, again, really heavy on your heart in a whole big way.
There's just a lot going on, like family stuff, I guess. Like my brother's getting married soon.
You
and-
feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Well, it's like there's just a lot of things that you're trying to take from her, if that makes any sense. Like you're trying to make sure you're carrying the load with her, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, there's, I guess, relationship stuff too, like with dad and all that. So
Yeah.
all I can think
because
of. But
she's been through hell and back on a whole different level. Like
yeah,
she's been through hell and back, and it's weird because you carry her with you, so even when she passes, she's never going to be away from you. Like it's you guys are soulfully bonded.
yeah,
It's a
we've
big
gone through
deal.
a lot.
Okay. You've gone through a lot. And it's almost like the only way I can describe this, and please don't be offended by this, but you walk behind her with a bucket to catch her tears.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can I ask what's making you emotional, Bridget?
The losses they've had.
like just a lot of trauma stuff and just stuff that happened in my younger childhood. Plus, I'm super sensitive, so.
And it's crazy because this whole thing with her, I love that even with things that have happened to you, you don't blame her. You're like, you can see the entire side of every situation, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So your grandmother on her side has passed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Because she's all over you and thanking you for taking such good care of her daughter. And all these I don't want to say all these apologies, but remorse for not being better than she could have been. And it's like, you have to know that your mom is the way that she is because of that woman and the goodness that she learned to be from her. Okay.
Yeah.
Like she took all the good and then like made it bigger. The other thing that I'm really intrigued about with this entire situation, did your mom lose a baby or are you the one that lost a baby?
Oh, I lost one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, but it was a pregnancy, correct?
Yeah.
I need you to understand that whole thing happened. And, you'll hear me say every so often that pregnancies don't work out for reasons we sometimes don't understand. That is a huge thing, that it was almost like God protecting you from losing a baby at like 4 or 5 months from like SIDS. Okay. Because it feels like the heart wasn't completely developing the right way. And there's nothing you could have done different. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing with your mom, though, you carry her so hard on your heart. Like, no matter what, she's always going to be. Say that one more time.
Oh, wait, hold on. Your phone's breaking
really
up, Bridget.
close. Like, we've become closer. Am I good
Yeah,
enough?
she's your best friend.
Okay.
Can you say that again real quick, Bridget? Your phone broke up a little bit. I'm sorry.
She's just like my best friend. We've gone through so much together. So I feel like me and her have this closer bond than me and my siblings do.
Did she rescue you out of a bad relationship?
No.
Okay, did you rescue her? I don't know how to explain this. Okay. So with different things, and I don't know how long or how familiar you are with me, but I'll get different pictures in my head, or I'll feel certain ways if I've gone through certain things. All I can see with this is, remember how I talked to you about like the bucket, walking behind her with the bucket of tears?
Yeah.
The thing that I keep seeing her with you is a lifeline, like literally constantly going, come on, I got you. Come on, I've got you. Come on, I've got you. And it's like, it's not that she's rescuing you, but she's always trying to pull you to better, pull you to do more, show you who you are. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Like with work probably. And
work is exhausting. I hate your job for you right now. It's awful. It's not fair. You are going through too much, and you need to look at possibly walking away from that. You're always responsible for your own fate and destiny, but you don't get what you need from that situation monetarily. You don't get respect. It's time for that change. You're outgrowing where you're at with that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it really does.
And keep an eye on your mom with her back.
Her back.
Because I keep wanting to do this. Like, she just hurts.
Her back is always hurt.
Okay. What kind of questions do you have?
I don't know. None really. Just, I love that you can see that I'm always have my mom's back, and she has me.
How many
It's
siblings do you have?
beautiful.
Bridget?
I have 2. I have a brother and a sister.
because there's 3 babies in all for them.
Yes.
Your dad doesn't mean to be the way that he is.
That's funny.
Okay, it's like seriously, he doesn't see it.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see that.
Okay,
Sounds like him.
yeah. So, and your grandmother, you look like her. It's crazy. Like you come from that whole side of the family. And I'll even say it before we got started. I'm like, okay, there's either a mom or a grandmother all over this place with you because literally she's just with you. Did she have
good.
breathing issues?
She had lung cancer.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
So
That is incredible. Is your what's your mom going through? If you feel comfortable, obviously. If you don't, absolutely, you don't have to say anything.
I think it's a lot to do with, I think she plays the middleman. So if something's going, it's mainly with my sister, like all her stuff that she's going through. And then
did she have to rescue your sister out of the bad relationship?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All
I
right.
need to think about that.
Sorry,
But,
I should have warned you.
No,
Okay.
it's okay. But then having to deal with my dad and him not understanding what my sister is going through and has gone through.
He's got no nonsense. It's one of those things of it's black or white. It's not that he doesn't have remorse. He just thinks that she should be harder, stronger, and get over it.
Right. So it's just he has no empathy almost for anything.
Yeah. He can't help it.
Right. Right. So yeah. Hot mess.
How are you feeling?
I feel fine. I'm just a super emotional person. So just hearing someone else say what she said, it kind of feels good. It not make me feel crazy for the way I feel about my job.
It's validation. And by the way, you're talking about some of the most sensitive ass people up on the podcast. So
every single one of us in these squares on the video.
Just we love it.
Yeah.
I always say you gotta cry it out.
You gotta cry it out. It's a wash. You have a little girl?
Yes.
Okay. Her spicy attitude, who she is, best thing to her. Let her always run her own world. Make it her idea. So sincerely, you're looking at an amazingly strong human being who will be better than you could ever expect. Just show her God, show her loyalty, and show her the things that you're so focused on, family, the big, big things. Keep that.
Okay.
You're not doing too much for her either. Just, okay.
It feels that way.
I know.
He's a mess.
I know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So thank you so much. More than you know.
Well, sorry.
I said more than you know, and I'm squeezing you.
Yes, thank you.
So how weird was it to hear us at the end of the show be like, hey, message us if you want a psychic reading, where you're like, wait, what are y'all talking about?
You're like, I'll do it.
No, I love it. I love it. This is my first time ever. I've always wanted to do it. So
it can be intimidating.
Perfect timing.
Oh, that's so great. Well, Bridget, like we always say on our on-air show, welcome to the Miguel and Holly fam. But also for the podcast, we call the people that listen and watch the Platypus Posse. And welcome to our newest Platypus Posse member, Bridget.
Yay!
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, okay?
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
I love a crier.
I do too. It's so good. It's my validation.
I do it, but I love it. I want everybody else to cry. Maybe because that makes me feel better about crying. I don't know.
Ollie's like, I don't feel too bad now. My goodness.
I feel great. That was a lot.
It was. And you could tell, it's so fascinating to me as you start talking. So and I may have said this before when we've had Stacy on, before we get people on the podcast, I always say that it's a lot for people to, when Stacy is reading, and it's it's coming in images and flashes, and it's never in a movie
not a
where,
script.
right? Because like in a movie, if you go to a psychic and they'll be like, I'm seeing this, and then they flash back to that scene and it's perfectly set up. But in
Right.
real life, it's not like that. It's like little bits and pictures and pieces. And so, like you were talking about rescuing from the bad relationship, and you're like, no, that's not right. And then she's like, oh wait, it was my sister that happened to. And that's how I say it, like comes in parts and pieces. And it's like you have to put them together. It's so fascinating.
It's
Yeah.
so frustrating because I wanted to be that script, and it's annoys the living crap out of me because sometimes it is in that script, and other times it's in bits and pieces, and I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? And then there's never been a time, knock on wood, that I've been wrong. It's sometimes people don't exactly understand what I'm saying until 3 or 4 days later, but it's always the right thing, if that makes sense. It's
Absolutely.
bizarre. And especially that's a perfect example with the sister thing, because I kept seeing this whole lifeline. And I love being able to be on camera because if I do my sessions, I do most of my sessions over the phone. And if I'm talking to somebody, I'm making all these hand gestures, nobody gets to see them. So when I'm here with you guys and you get to see me work, and I'm seeing her mom literally going, let me help you get out of there now. And I knew it wasn't for her because of the way that it came across, if that makes sense. You guys heard me say it like, So I knew it had to be something else. I didn't think about the other siblings that she had for that because her and her mother are so tight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, we have another Platypus Posse member, Dawn. Welcome to the podcast.
Guys, thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Dawn, are you in Charlotte or are you in Florida?
No, I'm in Charlotte and I'm in Matthews.
Wonderful.
cool.
Well, thank you so much. I always say that it's really cool when we can get Charlotte fan members to do this because you don't know the history and the backstory of Stacy. And so when we just literally, it's always at the end of the show on the Friday, we're like, hey, y'all, we just had this fun, kooky show. Do you want to talk to someone from your past who has passed on? Hit up our Instagram and let us all watch you do this. So thank you for trusting us with this. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So since we had you, you've just joined us. You just missed this part. But like we say, you saw a little bit of it when Stacy is reading. It's not like a movie where she's like, 10 years ago, this happened. It's sort of pictures and pieces of a puzzle. And so just sort of let us in on it as she's like, I'm feeling this and this, and be like, oh my gosh, that sounds like my cousin, who went through that, but that wasn't me. And we're like, oh my gosh. So just communicate to us as Stacy is reading.
Okay.
So Holly, producer Kelvin, and myself, we will step back. And it's just you and Stacy.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Stacy, I'm so excited.
I love that you have a pencil with you. You are ready.
I'm a writer.
I love it. Okay. So here's the deal. I do work solely and strictly through God. You're always in charge of your own fate. You're always in charge of your own destiny. And I'm just going to jump in on this. Is your dad, he passed?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All over you. Before they even opened up with the next person, I'm like, oh, here he is. I need you to know how thankful he is to you and your family. I want to turn up music. I want to start cooking. I want to start dancing. I want to live, because this man, he was life. But he wants to lift you up. He wants to shake you because you keep putting yourself down in the dirt, and you're not taking care of yourself the way you should emotionally. You're not telling people no, and you have to, baby. You have to. You're letting other people and other relationships walk all over you. And if he was here, he'd look at you and go, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
and you look like him. I need you to know how thankful he is to you. And why do I just keep smelling food? Do you cook, or is it him that cooked, or is it okay? Because damn, food. I'm telling you. And this man, I need you to know that he did not want to die. He fought.
I know.
He fought. He didn't complain. And it's like, I completely get this with him. And people, you can sleep when you die. That was his whole motto. He's like, I'm good. I'm good. It didn't matter how much pain that man was in with his legs. It didn't matter how exhausted he was going to do what he needed to do. And even when he started to get tired, he never told anybody how tired he was.
True.
Okay. Thank you for letting him pass the way you guys let him pass. Thank you for doing everything that you did. And somebody talked him into doing heaven and like talked him into heaven. And he's thanking you guys for that. He also wants you guys to know that it's all real, because I guess someone's been going back and forth about their that's it.
Quite truthfully, I've had a lot of tragedy in the last year, and I was doubting that there was a heaven or a God.
Yeah. He's trying to tell you it's real. You're not being punished. All this is all trials and part of a transitional period. And I'm going to say a side thing. This is all one of those things that we don't get all super duper, that kind of way, especially during the podcasts. So I'm going to take this on myself and just do it this way, because this is my own personal beliefs of what I've seen and all that stuff. I'm telling you, he's trying to show you God's real. He's trying to show you this is all just a part of the way your life is. It's your soul knows what needs to happen. You're being excluded, or you're being pulled away from all the things that you're being pulled away from and set to your side so God can get closer to you.
Okay. Wow.
Your parents, is your mom also passed?
Yes.
Because it's this whole thing. It's like your parents were going to die no matter what. You were supposed to live through that. You were supposed to, and all these changes and all these people walking out of your life the way they have, and it's God's taking things away from you to rebuild your foundation, to rebuild your house.
Okay.
Trust the process. Stop trying to open doors he's trying to close, especially in the romance department. Because that just breaks my heart. Your mama needs you to know that you cook her food.
Yes.
Damn, you cook that woman's food. They're together.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Okay, you need to know they're together. Did you have a brother who passed, or is he alive?
I had a brother that passed.
Okay, you need to know he's with them.
Oh.
Okay, that's a really big deal. I also need you to know, though, that your mama's very proud of you. You don't show your emotions for snaps at all, ever.
Only when I'm by myself in the car.
That's it. Is your birthday coming up, or whose birthday's happening? Because I keep seeing balloons.
My two granddaughters, their birthday's September.
Okay. When was your mama's birthday?
My mom's birthday is July.
And when was your dad's birthday?
February.
It's got to be back to your father's.
I have a grandson that's birthday is July also.
No, this feels like either an anniversary or a birthday coming up, like now. Either now or mid-May to like not past June. So hold on to that, please. Just hold on to it, because you'd be shocked how that pops back up. Okay. You have a sister as well?
Yes.
Be kind to her. I know she's a massive pain in the butt. Be kind to her.
Oh.
Damn.
I'm trying.
I know, but there is no try. Ask Yoda. There is do or do not. She doesn't mean it. She's a broken person.
True.
She is a broken person. That is not a reflection of you.
Okay.
So you washed your mom's face?
Have what?
Whose face did you wash? Was it your mom's or your dad's? Because literally,
I washed my dad.
Okay. Please know how good that felt to him.
Wow.
Turn up that music. You need to turn up that music. Music, and food for them. And look at the birds. Hummingbirds for your mom especially.
Really? Mm-hmm. They just came back yesterday. We just put the feeder out.
That's bizarre, because I'm in Florida. We don't get those.
Oh my goodness.
We have lizards instead. It's fine.
Okay. I don't mind them.
And I want you to pay attention to your health.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The exhaustion. You need to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Get your hormones checked. Get that thyroid checked, and stop. You're not dying anytime soon. Just get yourself checked out because you wait off and you put it off and you put it off because you don't want to deal with it. But you'd feel better, especially those knees and hips.
That's my biggest problem. My
I
right
know.
knee and my right hip.
Yep.
I have I wanted to see if my other sister comes through.
She died of cancer.
No.
Who had the cancer?
Nobody that I know. Well, oh, my dad had myelodysplasia that turned into leukemia.
Thank you. Okay. He's more frequent than anything. Even if I don't feel your other sister, doesn't mean anything. Just you always hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Okay.
And this is more healing about your dad than anything else because you lost your best friend when he died. It was like your best buddy kind of thing. So I just need you to know that that's probably why it's most prominent with all that right now.
Okay.
And I cannot thank you enough for all this.
Oop.
There
we go.
So, do you have any questions?
No, that just brought some light to me with my dad because we hadn't seen him in 4 years since my mom died. He moved. It's an odd situation. He moved from North Carolina to South Carolina with my mother's cousin, and she made him dissociate from the family for 4.5 years. And I spoke to her on the phone and I said, I haven't talked to my dad, even though we hadn't seen him. I said, he hasn't answered in like 2 weeks. And she said, oh, he's fine. He just doesn't want to talk to anybody. And I got in the car with my husband and I said, we're going. And we showed up unannounced and I walked in, and I'm a nurse. And I walked in unannounced and she was mortified. I said, where is my father? And I dropped to my knees. He was dying right there.
You did good.
So, and I stayed with him. He was laying in piss and shit. She didn't take care of him. She just was out for the money. That was it.
Yeah.
And I cleaned him up. I stayed with him, and she told me she was tired of trying to clean him and keep him clean. And I said, I'm mortified the way my father looks. I haven't spoke to him in 2 weeks, and he's been laying in piss and shit. He was contracted. I said, I'm a nurse 35 years. You can't fool me. He's been laying like this without eating or drinking at least for 10 days. And that was what happened. And I stayed with him, and I had to leave to come back to work. And I said, I'll be back on Tuesday. When we came back on Tuesday is when he died.
He waited for you.
He waited. I swear he did.
So thank you so much for all of this.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Dawn,
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was wild. It's just
Yeah.
I needed that. I needed it.
I know. It is weird how Stacy works because it's like you come in thinking, I know exactly what this is going to go, how it's going to go, or there's a question that you want answered, but then she comes at you like a sledgehammer with the other direction.
I was hoping to hear from my sister because she was murdered by her husband last year, and my dad.
She doesn't remember any of it. She blacked out. Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Because she was standing against the wall and then blacked out.
She was leaving her house and her husband shot her in her back.
Oh,
awful.
Like I said, it's a whole blacked out.
Well, as long as she didn't feel anything, amen to that.
Is he locked away?
No, he killed himself after he shot her. He called the police and he told them he shot his wife. They were keeping him on the phone, and then they heard 3 or 4 other shots. He killed the dogs, and then he killed himself.
So you guys, you remember how I always talk to you about how I keep darker entities away? Notice how we didn't talk anything about him at all?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when you said that you've been through a lot, Dawn, you were not kidding.
We are giving you so much love.
And still get up every morning and go to work at Matthews Hospital and work as a nurse, and I do my thing.
And she sings and she dances and she sings to different patients, and she holds their hand and everything all the time.
Nursing's my life.
Yep.
Well, make sure, now we're stepping in and with our, radio, what do you call it, Harley? Our armchair psychologist.
Yes, our armchair psychology.
Take care of yourself, okay?
Yes.
Even though you've been through
Absolutely.
all of these tragedies, take
Yeah.
care of your health and do what you need to do to make sure that you live a nice, long, healthy life.
I
Thank
read
you.
Take the trip.
Oh, there's a trip?
Trip. Well, I am going to New York next week because my niece is having a baby, but we're planning a trip to Italy next year.
Yes, and she's apprehensive about it. You need to go.
I'm
Girl,
very apprehensive.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Could the birth of a baby have balloons and a celebration?
Oh,
Yes, it
maybe
could.
my niece- that could be it.
In
In
May.
a trip.
Oh my God! Yeah, my
Anyway.
niece. Didn't
Thank
even
you.
think
I was going to
about
say,
it.
and it's a girl.
Oh, I don't know.
Mic drop.
Oh, no.
It might be. Yeah, it might be a surprise. I don't know. They were
When
saying
is she
boy.
due?
She's due the first, like the beginning of June, but she's been baby's
I say
head
May
down and ready.
27th.
Okay.
Well, who knows?
I want to know.
I'll
Yeah,
let
look at
Miguel
Stacey
and
get
Holly
on it,
know.
Serious. I want to know.
I want to know.
I'll have to let them know. I'll have to call in at my 6 o'clock when I'm calling in for the train wreck of the day.
Yes.
Yes.
That's me.
Oh,
Yay.
Dawn. Oh, well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And
Okay.
welcome to the Miguel and Holly fam. And
Thank you.
also, because you hear us say that on the show, but for the
Yes.
podcast, you are now also in the Platypus Posse. So
Yes.
welcome, girl. You stuck forever.
Thank
Girl.
you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Thank
Most
you.
definitely. You have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend. Dawn.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that is
She's
just,
like, look at me.
she's like, girl, I don't earn my keep.
So here's the thing, to give you a little backstory, like we knew about the murdered sister, and so we were all kind of like, well, I don't know about Miguel, but I was like, where is the murdered
When is
sister?
it gonna talk?
I was like, she's over here talking about the dad and the mom, and I was like, I know from the messages that there is this situation going on, and I was like, because much like Dawn, who came in, I'm sure thinking to hear about that, and then everyone's surprised when it's not, but it's not how it works.
Right.
And I don't get to choose it. But there
Yeah.
are some, like, as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, well, that's what happened. And it's
Right.
like, if you were to randomly ask me about, see, we don't talk about this. If you were randomly to ask me about certain things or certain somebodies, or like, oh, hey, how's my Uncle Joe? Or how did he pass? I could tell you. Or like, I've been approached by TV stations or even different people for lost persons, because you can just say, hey, so-and-so, and I know what's going on with each situation. Celebrities that have passed, I can tell you how they've passed before. Like, all I have to do is hear if they've passed, or like that they've passed, and I'll tell them, somebody around me, like my husband, I'll be like, hey, this is how they passed, and it'll show up on the news like 4 days later. We had a football thing a few years ago with Miguel when one of the football players in the area had passed. I was like, this is what happened.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
right.
hey,
I forgot
yeah.
about that. Yes, that's right.
So it's
So
crazy.
when you see, like, so for that, is it a feeling? Is it a mental picture?
Yes, all of it. It's the
Mm.
same thing. It's just works differently because I don't have to have a connection to somebody. I can just, I just feel it. And I mean, and yes, I can do, I know I'm probably opening up Pandora's box by even seeing this, but with people who have like gone missing, things like that, I can typically find people. When I was dating my husband in high school, I didn't know where he went. He was to go to a friend's house. I literally found him and left a note on the car and just was like, I was here. Freaked him out. He was like, how did you do that? I'm like, it's just what I do. So I can find anybody, anything. There's only, like I said, my one person that I can't feel or anything like that. Anybody else, boop, found him, feel him, everything.
Oh, bizarre.
That's wild.
Mhm.
It is wild.
It's insane.
Mm.
So
Dawn got me. That got me, man. I don't think I've cried that much ever on this podcast.
My
that one got
gosh.
me.
Well,
Mm.
it's so remarkable when you think about the tragedies you've been through, and we all, because the only person that's in your head is you. And so you're in your own narrative and you're like, God, my life is so heavy. And then you hear Dawn and you're like, well, bitch, I need to be fucking painting rainbows and
Thank
shit.
you. That's my whole philosophy in life. Like, this is why first responders are typically like my best friends, because they see the worst of the worst, like I do. And like my person is a first responder, and I can go to them and go, oh my gosh, this is the session I had today. This is what I saw. This is how I felt. And he can tell me about the worst of the worst with him. And it's just like perspective. You learn very quickly to appreciate everything that you appreciate. It could always be worse. It could always be worse. There have been so many people that I've had to talk to that have lost their children, that have lost murders and all these horrible things with spouses and stuff like that. And you just learn real quick to go, I'm good. Life's good. And that was a perfect example of that beautiful, sweet woman.
Yeah.
You know, but thankfully her sister did not suffer. And you know, amazingly enough, though, in most situations when it comes to that kind of stuff, people black out before they pass. Like car accidents and everything like that. It's quite beautiful. It's almost like a saving grace. So
that's what I've been thinking a lot about, that you know, especially this week with all of the shootings, just the random, you know, like the guy who the kid who was looking for his younger brother and sister went to the wrong house and was shot. The girls that were just trying to turn around in you know, this out in the boonies driveway and the guy shot at him, or the girl, the cheerleader that was just that got into the wrong car by accident. And even here, the one that Holly talked about this morning on our show about the girl right here in North Carolina who was shot because the soccer
basketball rolled in the yard, and then this man came out shooting and shot the little girl in the cheek. Thankfully, she's okay. And like a couple other people, including her dad, and then the dad ended up in the hospital, and he was kind of critical for a while. But I think everyone is going to survive. But it's just like, I'm sorry, we're just out here living our lives getting shot at. And I got so in my head about it this week, particularly. It was my Can't Let It Go. And then I saw this horrific, but I thought necessary article written from the perspective, I think it's a New York Times thing. I could be wrong. But it's like the written of the perspective of the 3 crime scene investigators that had to clean up Sandy Hook. And I sat there for 25 minutes and read this entire account. And it was like, when is it time to show America, not to get off on a huge tangent, but like, when is it time to show America what these things look like, what they sound like, what these crime scene people have had to go through and their experiences. But it's a fine line, because some of the parents of those children are like, I don't want any of this information out. Well, you have to respect that. But then you also have to respect these crime scene investigators who are doing the work for these families, who also have a story to share.
I think what it'll
bizarre.
take is you have the story of Emmett Till, the black kid who was lynched, who was from Chicago and went to visit family down south, and he was killed because this white woman accused him of whistling at her.
Yeah.
And his mom, when they brought his body back up to Chicago in the 50s, and she was like, open casket. I want the world to see what's happening in the South, because she was like, well, we're in Chicago. It doesn't affect me. I'm living a great life and I feel bad for, you know, my family down there, but I escaped that. And then after that, she said, no, we are all in this to fucking together.
Yes.
And what started to change things is when that was on the cover of Jet magazine in the 50s. But it takes that person, because you want to respect those families.
You do.
No one
I would never
ever
presume to want to like have that.
Right.
Obviously that is a horrific situation. So
absolutely. But
I wish there was one person that would be like, somebody look.
It's coming. It's coming.
It is.
It's coming. Someone's gonna be like, you know what? This is fucking enough. It's either the guns or our fucking children. You better pick.
Right.
And there's so much to that, and there's so much to other things too. I mean, just in general, with what law enforcement has to go through in general. I mean, even going to a normal pullover and being shot at because guns are someone's hiding in the back seat. Guns are tucked behind a door or a seat. and pulled out, boop, boop, boop. You know, it's insane to me. Insane to me. So
We're
something has
living
to
in
change.
scary times. Hey, Stacey, give us something positive before we leave for the weekend.
Tell me something good. Literally, y'all, let's just live. Let's go have a great weekend. Let's keep sight of our positive and how good things are. And we're gonna make it through this retrograde.
Yes, we
travel.
are.
If you're traveling, you need to leave time to travel.
Yeah.
Just prepare for stupid little screw ups. That's it. That's it. And by the way, did y'all see how red I got today?
Yes, you did. It was
That's
like your
how big today was. Like energy. Because you never see me get this red.
Are you also red because you feel like I'm about to come into a large sum of money?
Not yet, there, baby. Not yet.
Okay.
Will I be
none of us?
Wait, hold on. I ain't done yet. Wait, hold on.
Fortune teller.
Listen, we just got everybody else. Do you think
It's Miguel's turn.
It's my turn. Stacey, Worker Stacy, dear Stacey.
Yes, baby. Yes.
Do you think that I'll ever be a millionaire?
Absolutely. I told you the first time I met you.
Bitch.
Wait a minute. Miguel's a millionaire. Maybe that means I will be too, because I just
Absolutely.
I'm not
I
on
see
the surname,
syndication. No, you never know. I told you. Easy.
I love it.
I can't wait to do good in the world with millions of dollars. I can't wait to help people out.
Yeah.
And have millions of dollars.
Look at your hands. Like,
Will I get a Prius? That's all I want. I've been asking for a Prius for the past 3 years. I just want a Prius.
Next year. No, he can't just, no, it's next year.
Oh, she said, bitch, sit down. Wait. Hey,
Next
listen,
year.
if I got to sit down for millions, you got to sit down for your Prius.
Yeah, but it's the whole, just next year.
Next year. I'll take it.
Next year.
So, Worker Stacy, how can people find you to book a session or to listen to your new podcast?
That's a great question, Miguel. My book a session would happen to be at soulworkerstacyrenee.com podcast. You can actually follow us on Facebook and like us and all of that fun stuff at Stacy and Sean Good for the Soul on Facebook. And please, because I'm a massive attention whore, please come like my IG at soulworkerstacyrenee.
Yes. Producer Kelvin, what's your info people can find you?
I am on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at Kelvin Live. And if you want to play some games with me on PlayStation, I am Bootsy Killer.
Got it. All right.
Love that so much.
Don't encourage it,
Thank you.
Stacey.
Thank you.
Holly, how can people find you on social media?
Radio Holly on Instagram. That's my number one. Also TikTok. Also Twitter. No blue check mark anymore. It's fine. And then on Facebook, you can just type in Holly O'Connor. Look for the page. Like, there you go.
You can find me, Miguel Fuller, on Instagram, TikTok, Be Real, and on Peloton. Yes, Holly?
I forgot. I endorse a new social media app in Charlotte. You should find me on the We app. It's W with 4 E's. Holly O'Connor. It's great. Check out the We app.
Yes. Also, if you live in the Charlotte area, we have a contest happening just this weekend. So if you listen to this a week from now, I'm so sorry you missed it. But right now, it's Friday, April 21st. So between now and Sunday, April 23rd at midnight, go to the Miguel and Holly or the Hits 961 Instagram. And we have a whole Taylor Swift concert giveaway there. But you have to be in the Charlotte area for that. Okay? Sorry, Stacey. I saw Stacey get so excited. I'm so sorry. Love you, girl. All right. We will see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.